Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Wiz Files. Today we are taking a look at the case of Barney and Betty Hill. Let's go. Barney and Betty Hill would become famous on one fateful evening on September 20th, 1961. They were driving down the hills of New Hampshire that night when they say a bright light came out of the sky. 2 hours later, they would come to 35 miles down the road, not knowing what had happened. According to their subsequent reports, Betty and Barney Hill would state that they traveled to Zeta Reticuli, which is a star system 39 light years away from Earth. The strangest part of the story would be that Betty was able to draw a actual map of Zeta Reticuli before it was even discovered. Their case was actually one of the most noteworthy ones, and one that inspired dozens of other cases in the area. One of the most notable ones was the Pascagoula abduction, and where two fishermen were yanked from the banks of a Mississippi River. And little whiles later, in 1978, Travis Walton would be abducted for 5 days and couldn't explain it. He didn't know where he had been, and he just simply stated that he had vanished. But the fact of the matter is that we really don't know if these cases are 100% real. Back to that faithful night, Barney and Betty Hill were taking a kind of impromptu vacation slash honeymoon since they were both a little bit burnt out from work. On the last night of their honeymoon, the couple were driving back to their house in Vermont when all of a sudden they saw a particularly bright star that they thought was some type of a shooting star or maybe some type of a planet shining in the distance. It wasn't until the object started changing direction that Betty started to panic. Her husband, though, was still unfazed, thinking that his wife was just exaggerating. As the object began to fly erratically towards him, that's when Barney knew that maybe his wife was not freaking out over nothing, and he stepped out of the car, gun in hand. The object was described as a pancake-like disc, glowing with a brilliant white light that was about the size of a jet. They would later feel incredibly dizzy and drowsy and pass out, coming through in their driveway, not knowing of what had happened. Their memories had seemed to have been wiped clean, very similar to these guys, Men in Black style, which, that's what aliens do all the time. All right, I'm going to wrap it up real quick right there. Ran out of time. Like and follow for more content. Wiz Files. See ya.